Well, good evening, everybody. This is Marty Hale here in Austin, Texas, and man, am I excited to be on this call tonight. Guys, I feel like a kid in a candy store, literally. I am that excited to be on here with you guys tonight. Man, to listen to all of you, I heard so many people from the East Coast to the West Coast and everywhere in between. Just what a representation of such leadership and enthusiasm. And you guys, I tell you, never stop amazing me, impressing me with your leadership skills and your desire to build this business, to build it for the freedom of your family, for the freedom for generations to come, and to make a difference in this world. And so we are very, very fortunate. This is Marty Hale again. If you're just now joining the call, I want to thank all of you for introducing yourselves, literally from New York and New Jersey and Massachusetts and Rhode Island and Florida and Texas and California and Oregon and all the different places in between. I am really, really excited to be on here. And we have a really special guest with us tonight, as you are all aware of thus far already. And so I know you're ready to hear from him, so I don't want to take much more time, but I just want you to do this. I want you to do me a favor, if you won't do yourself a favor, and I want you to really take this serious. I know you've done these calls over and over and over. I mean, some of you have done them for 6 years now, some of you have done them for 2 years, some of you have done them for 20 years, maybe with a different company or something, and you do them all the same exact way. You listen to them, every so often you may change the channel, or every so often you may, Google something on the internet or do something else, or every so often you may text somebody. Let's not do that tonight. Let's start with a clean canvas, a clean slate. If you would just do me this one favor tonight, I'd take out something to write with, or maybe to type with, and take notes. Maybe the first time you've ever done it on a call like this. Maybe you do it all the time, but I would highly recommend you do it on this call, because the words that you are about to hear are words of wisdom. Guys, you just don't get to where this guy has gotten, or where he's who he's become in the time frame that he's done it, without extreme amount of wisdom and knowledge. And guys, I want you to really pay close attention to what our founder and CEO is about to share with you. When I think about this gentleman, I am blessed beyond what I would have ever imagined, folks. I consider it a privilege. It's an honor to even be a part of the same company, much less even play any kind of a role with this gentleman. Folks, when you realize the amount of courage that it took him to do what he did, I mean, when you really think about someone who's never been in this industry in their entire life, who never launched a company, who had never done all the things that he's now done by the time they were 38 years old, man, it just says a whole lot about who they are as an individual. It says a lot about who they are as a family person. It says a whole lot about what their integrity's like, what their discipline's like, what their faith, what their conviction. It tells you a lot about the determination and the drive, the desire, the ambition, the goals that they set for themselves. They're extremely high. And I know this man as a winner. And I can tell you why I'm part of this company. I'm part because I want to build the largest company in the world in this industry. And so I partnered myself. I tried to find somebody who I knew who could help me to get there. And folks, I'm going to tell you, there's no one who I have more confidence in, more faith, more trust than the individual that you are about to get to hear from tonight. I know you love him. I know you trust him, or you wouldn't be on this call. But folks, pay close attention to everything that he has to say, because it just might be that golden nugget, that last combination to the lock, so to speak, that you needed to unlock and unleash the true potential that's inside of you and change your life forever. And so with that, you guys, help me welcome our founder and our CEO, Mr. Michael Fallquist. Michael, are you on the phone?
Marty, I am here, my man. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm so grateful that you took the time to join us tonight. And man, I would ask, Michael, that you just, it took a lot of confidence. I mean, it took a lot of wisdom and knowledge to make the decisions that you've had in this company, and you've made a monster decision to launch the great state of Texas. And I just can't wait to hear what your vision was in doing that, and why, and so many other things. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. And, man, please share with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me on the call. It's always fun when I get a chance to address the broader audience. And tonight's topic is a fun one. The great state of Texas. I have to tell you, it's a state I've had my eye on really since I was back Chief Operating Officer at Commerce Energy. It's a state that has so much potential in this industry, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But we are now less than 2 weeks away from launching the state, and it's the centerpiece on the mantle for us achieving all of our goals. And really, that's what I'm here to talk about today. Because where we are today as a company, we've had a great run as a business. I think it's pretty well chronicled, from $1 million investment, a great idea, finding a passionate group of leaders that helped build this company, through good times, bad times, to where we are today. We should all be incredibly proud. We've created a business in really 4 full years that was ranked 51st in the DSN Top 100. It's a pretty special place to be. But for me, it was never about that ascent. I've always been someone who's very long-term focused. When I started this, it wasn't about years. It was about decades. I think I said to a bunch of people that, it was, the first year was great to celebrate. 5th year was even better to celebrate. The 10 years could be even better, 20 and so on. I mean, I am a long-term thinker. It's how I built the company. It's really, every decision we've made is thinking long-term. And the goals today are larger than ever because, I'm not satisfied. I don't see this as the end of the journey. I see this as really as the beginning of the journey for us over the next decade. And when I think about where we're going, I've said there's really 2 big goals that we have: long-term, short-term. Long-term, really over the last 2 years, I've said this, and I've said it confidently and with determination. I believe this company will be one of the top 10 network marketing companies in the world by 2020. That's something I'm laser focused on. It's revenue of about $1.5 billion to get there. I believe that it's within reach for this business, and that's something I'm very focused to. I love Marty's goal. That's the long-term goal, to pass the Amways of the world, to pass the Avons of the world, to be the best in the world in direct selling. I think we absolutely can accomplish that. But in the short term, I'm focused on the top 10. But what that takes, right? You need to have short-term goals. Right? You don't join this business and tomorrow become an ambassador. You got to become a director. You got to become a partner, and ultimately become an ambassador. So for me, the near-term goal of this business is to get to 1 million customers. And 1 million customers, from where we are today, sitting right around 300,000 customers, that's tripling our size. But I believe it's achievable. Actually, I believe it's very achievable, really by the end of 2017. And Texas is key to that strategy. But before I dig into Texas, let me tell you why I believe Viridian has really unmatched potential in the retail energy market. So if everybody's targeting Texas and wants to grow in Texas, why do I think we're going to be more successful than most in that market? Well, first and foremost, we have a network marketing model. If you're a student of the retail energy industry like I am, you know one golden truth. The network marketing models have been the most successful customer aggregating models in the industry. We have that model. We have it in spades. I believe the second is that we're a mission-oriented business. Unlike any company in the industry that's all about either selling kilowatt hours, we're a mission-oriented business. We are about green and sustainability. 5 billion pounds of carbon avoided as of last year's sustainability report. Local and global sustainability initiatives. I mean, that's a differentiator. I love going to opportunity events, and now they're started with the What If video we have, or Nicaragua video. It's really a special thing to see. Third, we now have technology that enables your business. I realize it's an ante into the game, but we now have it. And fourth, we have the best compensation plan in the industry. A coded plan focused on growth, and we've taken what other competitors have used successful and we've improved on it. It's absolutely the real deal. So when you think about achieving that goal, the short-term goal of 1 million customers, tripling our customer base, to me it's absolutely achievable for those four reasons I just shared with you. But most importantly, the key to that is Texas. Texas is the holy grail of the retail energy market. It's a market that, I've had on my radar since I was Chief Operating Officer at Commerce Energy, and that was the largest market we operated within. Texas has several facets that are very attractive from a retail energy perspective. First is just the sheer size of the market. For the past 5 years, ever since the days when I was driving around in my black Prius, we've been talking about the size of the Northeast market. And I was originally a few million customers in Connecticut, then it grew and grew and grew and grew to about 30 million customers across our Northeast footprint. New Jersey, 3.3 million. Massachusetts, 2 million in the utilities we serve. New York, 5.1 million. Those are all small fries compared to the opportunity in Texas. Texas, according to ERCOT, has 24 million eligible meters. So when you think about opportunity, that is a massive opportunity, unlike we've seen across our business to date, all in one very large state. And when you think about the size of the market, not only is it large in the number of meters, but in terms of volume. Think about my home. I use about 1,000 kilowatt hours a month. I'm a normal residential user. For those of you in Texas, and I've heard Marty say this a bunch of times from stage, I love it, you're using 3-4 times that. So the opportunity is not only large in the number of meters out there, but the amount of kilowatt hours those meters consume. Second is just how fast the market's growing. One of the challenges with retail energy in the Northeast markets, they're not high growth markets. Many of those states are actually declining in population. In Texas, it's the opposite story. You go to Texas, whenever I fly to Texas, I'm always amazed there's new growth, further sprawl. Texas is growing at 4 times faster than any other market in the country. The third point why Texas, I love Texas, this is how it's designed. When they built the Texas market, the regulators, they thought of a pro-competition marketplace. And this is one that I think is essential as you, especially in the Northeast, think about why should I go build in Texas? Well, it's big. People use a lot of energy. It's growing fast. But number 3, there is no price to compare. And I say that really, maybe, I think everybody on the phone from the Northeast will understand this. One of the challenges in the Northeast, you have a price to compare that's set by a regulator. It's set, and it often has a disconnect with market conditions. So you'll often have cycles of boom and bust, where we're able to deliver a lot of value to your customers, and then other times less value to your customers. What's fantastic about the competitive environment in Texas, there is no utility price. There is no boom and bust cycle. Every retailer there is competing based on the open market conditions. That is a grand slam. So for all the times you had start and stops in your business in the Northeast, that doesn't exist in Texas. Build today, build tomorrow. Know we will continually be competitive with the marketplace. Building on that point, it's just the regulatory environment that exists in Texas. The PUCT is well known. The Public Utility Commission of Texas is well known as one of the most pro-competitive commissions in all of the country. They're a good commission. They run a very tight ship from a compliance perspective, but they are pro-competition. They're pro-competition for the long term. It is a great place to do business. You don't have any issues like you have in the state of Connecticut, where you have challenges due to, lack of long-term commitment to the retail market. In fact, that regulatory commission has spoken all over the Northeast as they've thought about opening up new states. It's considered the blueprint for a successful retail energy market. And you have a commission that is supportive today and supportive of the long term. Fifth, and this is one that in the Northeast, we don't really have our heads around yet. But it is a place where I think you can really differentiate yourself in the marketplace. It's that across Texas, smart meters are fully deployed everywhere. And that's really important because you actually, as a retailer, have the opportunity to customize products, to basically offer unique solutions that aren't just about providing supply, but adding value to that customer. Like smart thermostats allow you to curtail energy and save money and pass that on to your customers. You just have a tremendous amount of flexibility in terms of how you bill and structure products for customers, ultimately allowing you to create value that you otherwise can't create. So that smart meter deployment, especially for a company like ours, where we're focused on sustainability and reduction of consumption, huge asset for us and one that I think we're going to be able to take advantage of. And finally, it's just the dual billing framework. I mean, this is something that in many of our markets in the Northeast, even if we wanted to, we could not basically provide consolidated billing for that customer. We can provide our own bill, but in many cases, the utility would also bill that customer as well. Having that dual bill framework where you can be the consolidated utility for that customer really provides tremendous opportunity as we think about cross-sells, upsells, stickiness, enhancing the value of that relationship, providing more value to your customer. Again, a way we can differentiate in the minds of the people using our service. So those are really the core reasons why, in my mind, Texas is the most successful deregulated energy market in America, and one that is so attractive for a company such as ours. However, having been the Chief Operating Officer of Commerce Energy, as I mentioned earlier, and dealt with that market, we had about 60,000 customers of our 180,000 customers were in that market. It also comes with a tremendous amount of challenge. It's an operationally complex market, and it's a market that requires significant expertise in terms of risk management. So even though from the very beginning when I started this company, that's where I knew I wanted to go, that's where I knew I needed to take this company to be the most competitive, to really grow the business, I knew you needed expertise that we didn't have. I knew you needed more capital that we didn't have to truly be successful, and to be successful over a long period of time. Just to give you a flavor of the operational complexities that exist in the Texas market, retailers, unlike in the Northeast, retailers are responsible for billings, they're responsible for collections, they're responsible for turning on service for customers, they're responsible for turning off service for customers. You provide customer service, not like in the Northeast where we really provide limited customer service around the bill. In Texas, we provide the entire bill. So we bill our energy rates, we bill the transmission and distribution charges for the utility. So we act as the utility answering all those questions. So customer interactions and time on the phone increase about from one contact a year on average to over 6 times a year on average in that marketplace. And most importantly, we own all the credit risk in that market. We have risk not only for our energy we deliver to the customers, but it's actually, in fact, a reverse purchase of receivables market. Where in the Northeast, we give the utility our charges and we get paid regardless of whether that customer pays. The transmission and distribution system in Texas, the TDSP, they actually give us their charges and we have to pay them regardless of whether they get paid. So it's an extremely operationally complex marketplace that you have to be ready for. In addition to that, as I mentioned earlier, it's one of the most volatile electric markets in the country. Think about summer heat. A couple years ago, you had 45 days of temperatures over 100 degrees. You have massive volatility and a very big summer peak in the market of Texas. So you need to be sound from a risk management perspective. You need to have capital to put the right hedges on and be able to manage through any of those challenging situations. I can tell you today, we weren't ready when I started the company 6 years ago, but I can tell you we are ready now. And just to help you understand that and get confident in that even further, that was one of the key drivers of the decision for Creus Energy, who you all know is the parent of Viridian, to acquire Tri-Eagle Energy in April of this year. So in that acquisition, we acquired about 200,000 customers under the Tri-Eagle brand. But what we really got, and what I think from an internal perspective we were most excited about, was really the opportunity for us to get into the Texas market and do it with a platform that has successfully existed and with a management team that's been successful there over a long period of time. Really starting with the management expertise and the know-how, I think there's probably quite a few of you on the phone who've been down to our Woodlands office down in Texas, outside of Houston. I will say if you haven't been, I recommend you go meet Rob Cantrell, meet Casey Klein. I think you will be so impressed with that team's acumen, knowledge, expertise. Tri-Eagle is actually on the cutting edge in terms of demand response, smart meters, leveraging those smart meters to create value for customers. Those guys are now on our team and was a huge asset that we acquired. So they're being instrumental in making sure that the Viridian launch in Texas is exactly what we want it to be. Second is the Tri-Eagle platform. Right, as I mentioned, in the Northeast, we weren't required to bill, so we didn't have that capability. We had capability to issue limited bills from time to time when we had to, but at the end of the day, we want to build 200, 500,000, 1 million customers in Texas, so we need to be able to bill and bill in large scale. The Tri-Eagle platform tested. It's served over 100,000 meters. It's one that's been around since almost over a decade. So that is a platform that works and works very effectively. But because we're so committed to the market, we didn't stop there. Right? We acquired the platform. We acquired Rob and Casey and that entire team in Houston. But then we brought on Marty Hale. You all know Marty. You've had a chance to spend time with him. Great asset to this business. A proud Texan. Someone who knows this industry, knows it from the energy side, the network marketing side. We obviously brought on Trey Henry as well. Trey's done a phenomenal job for us. Both Texans who understand this industry inside and out. We are absolutely investing in this market. Again, because we see Texas as our opportunity to double the customer base in a short order, and that momentum we get, we think is going to drive continued growth across our entire portfolio. We're investing with promotions. The Founders Retreats have been a phenomenal success. I know we've got another one coming up in mid-December, which is going to be really enjoyable. We're hosting regular meetings. We've really established a presence there. I've been down there a few times, and I know other executives have committed to being down there as well. To me, the opportunity in Texas is absolutely huge. As we're wrapping up the call, I want to frame the opportunity one other way. Because I think back to when I was writing the business plan for this company. Commerce, we had turned it around. I'd given a year of a lot of hard work to be sold. And, I walked away from a job with Universal, who acquired us, and was very fortunate to launch this company. And I remember doing my homework. As Marty said, I was not a network marketing guy. I'm an actuary. I'm a banker. I'm definitely not a network marketing person, or wasn't at that time. But for me, when I was doing my analysis and thinking about how best to launch this business, there were two companies that I took a deep dive on because I believed they had something. And so when I tell you that story, because obviously I'm talking about Ambit and Stream, two companies that have had great runs and been very good businesses over a long period of time. And when you think about that opportunity, especially all of you in the Northeast that haven't committed to going down to Texas or aren't driving it with your teams, I would just tell you to really think about the success of those businesses. So they're both $1 billion+ plus businesses. I think Ambit most recently was $1.5 billion. Often I hear from leaders how much money Ambit leaders are making. That's because they've created $1.5 billion of value. But I use those as data points, and I don't know the facts, but I believe a large percentage of their customers, and both of those businesses are in Texas. That is a huge opportunity. If you're looking for validation of why you want to be building a business in Texas, if it's not because of the size of the market or how much energy people use, or not about not having the starts and stops because of changes in utility price or a supportive PUC, you should look at the blueprint that exists. I know it's a reason I know we're going to be successful, because when I look at them and what they did, and I look at our business today, where we've got a better compensation plan, we've got better products, we've got a mission, not just about paying you money, it's about doing good, feeling good about what we're all doing. And then take us where we are on our curve, where we're standing here talking about how we want to triple our business over the next 2 years. We're there on the other side. They're not aggressively growing and promoting those markets, but we are. We're going to be on their doorstep. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am about Texas. So with that, I will close and just say, I look forward to seeing as many of you next Friday night at Gillies in Texas. I'll be there. I'll be excited. If you can't make it, drive it with your teams. Get them there. Get them recruiting. I think this next chapter of Viridian's history is going to be the best yet.
Well, Michael, I want to step in here. I want to ask you one question. And, as I've listened to you literally paint a masterpiece of your vision for this company, for all of our lives, in reality, because the more we grow this company, the more it changes each of our lives. And as I listen to you talk about all the different aspects, all the way back from when you first had the idea to raising the capital to wanting to be in the top 10, by 2020, having that 2020 vision, to everything that you said, I'm sitting here and I'm literally feeling this thought. And so I want to ask you if a person could think of it this way. I almost feel like that due to us being a team, due to us being a family, due to us being, of one mind and one spirit and one team, with the goal being to be in the top 10 by 2020, knowing that the strategy and the only way we could do that is to launch the largest state in the market, being Texas, would it be fair to say that if you're not in Texas, you're not in Viridian? Would it be fair to say that if you're not building that team, you're not on the team? I mean, I know those are such harsh and candid and strong words, and I don't necessarily mean, for those that absolutely can't make it, but for those that are riding the fence or those that could make it but are just choosing not to make it, what would you tell them? What would be a fair assessment of that?
I mean, Marty, I think it's about opportunity lost. I mean, I would, not everybody on this phone call has, the experience or the knowledge or the belief I have about Texas, and I can tell you that belief is based on, quite a few years in retail energy and knowing with conviction what we have to be successful. I would say for each and every one of you that's on the fence or hasn't promoted it with your team, you're missing a huge opportunity. It's an opportunity unlike you have ever seen in Viridian. I can go through my points again, but if those don't convince you, I would encourage you to be there, see it yourself, come experience the launch, and I would just ask you a simple question. To me, because I'm an economics major, actuary by trade, everything is about opportunity cost. I think not going to that event has a very high opportunity cost for you. That That's how I would think about it.
Well, Michael, we are so grateful to have you as the visionary of our company and the founder and CEO. And we are all blessed that you are in our lives and not just in business together. And we want to thank you for being on the call tonight. We love hearing from you every single time that we possibly can, even if it's just for a few minutes or a few seconds, because you literally are inspiring people, ordinary people, to do extraordinary things. And folks, I hope that you heard him tonight. Man, I'm telling you guys, I know I'm going to be there with bells and whistles on. I know Michael's going to be there. I know Cammie. I know Trey. I know Scott. I know everybody from corporate is more than fired up, more than excited about this Texas launch. And if you really think about what Michael shared with us tonight, folks, I wouldn't even think that it would be optional for you. I'd sell the television. I'd get rid of the whatever extra piece of furniture you don't need. I would find a way. If you don't think you have the money or you don't have the time, I'd make the time. I'd sell something. I'd get the money. I'd do whatever it takes to be there. You know, you say, well, I don't know anybody in Texas. Well, guess what? You can meet somebody in Texas. I mean, look at the examples of people that have come to Texas and met complete strangers and now have hundreds of people on their team. You know, it's like a professional baseball player getting up to bat, you know, and they swing and they miss and they swing and they miss and they swing and they miss and they struck out. Well, what if they just put the bat down? What if they stopped right there and called it quits and said, I tried that. It doesn't work. I tried that market. I couldn't get it going. I made some phone calls. Ran some ads. I went down there 2 or 3 times and I couldn't get it going. Well, what if a professional athlete treated their business that way? They wouldn't be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, right? They wouldn't be playing on the Super Bowl team. They wouldn't be in that league of players. And folks, I hope that you're getting the point. We want to be number one. We want to win the Super Bowl. We want to win the World Series. We want to be the best company in this industry, in this space. And it's going to take us launching and being successful in the state of Texas. And in order for us to do that, it's going to take each and every one of us digging deep down in the depths of our soul and grabbing every ounce of energy, every ounce of belief and confidence and faith, and doing something that we've never done before. It's like seeing the invisible, right? It's like taking the invisible and making it visible. The things that Michael shared with us tonight are the facts. They're the statistics. You can be convinced, you can be convicted that it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and you can't afford to miss that opportunity. And we can't afford you to miss that opportunity. Well, Michael, I want to thank you for joining us tonight and thank each and every one of you for being on here. Folks, with that, we're going to call it a night, and we'll see you next Monday, same time, same place, same number. And, guys, get registered for Texas. Go to Viridian.com. Click on events, register for Texas right now. Don't wait till tomorrow or next week or the day before. Go do it right now, because if you'll register, you'll start inviting people to go with you. And if you'll make plans right now tonight before you go to sleep, then you'll do something about it when you wake up. And so with that, guys, I want to thank you guys for joining us again. Michael, it's always a privilege, always an honor, and thank you for sharing with us tonight. So with that, guys, we're going to call it a night. You guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.